Once upon a time, in a cozy little corner of the woods, lived a mother pig with her 3 little sons. They were growing up so fast, and one day she gathered them around and said, "My dear boys, you're all grown up now. It's time for you to go out into the world and build your own homes. But remember, whatever you do, do it to the best of your ability. That's the way to survive and thrive." The 3 little pigs kissed their mother goodbye and set off on their adventure. They walked and they walked, full of excitement for the future. Soon they came to a crossroads. The first little pig, who was a bit lazy and always looked for the quickest way to do things, saw a farmer with a cart full of straw. "Perfect," he thought. "I can build a house in no time with that." He asked the farmer for some straw, and in just a few hours he had a cozy-looking house. He danced around, singing, "My house is done, my work is fun. Now I can play for the rest of the day." The other 2 pigs shook their heads. "That doesn't look very strong," said the second pig, but the first pig just laughed and went inside to take a nap. The second little pig, who was a little less lazy but still wanted to finish quickly, saw a man gathering a bundle of sticks. "Sticks are stronger than straw," he reasoned. "This will do just fine." He bought some sticks and spent the rest of the day building his house. It was a bit sturdier than the straw house, but it was still put together quite hastily. When he finished, he joined his brother, feeling proud of his quick work. Now, the third little pig was the most patient and hard-working of the 3. He watched his brothers finish their houses and go off to play, but he knew what his mother had said. He continued walking until he found a bricklayer with a load of strong red bricks. "This is it," he thought. "This will make a safe and sturdy home." He bought the bricks and got to work. It was hard work, much harder than building with straw or sticks. He had to mix mortar, lay each brick carefully, and build a strong foundation. He worked all day and into the evening. His brothers came by and teased him. "Why are you working so hard? Come and play with us," they shouted, but the third pig just replied, "I'm building a house that will keep me safe." You should have done the same. Finally, after a lot of effort, his brick house was complete. It had a strong roof, a sturdy door with a good lock, and a cozy fireplace with a big chimney. He felt tired, but very proud and very safe. The next day, trouble came to the woods. A big, bad wolf, who loved nothing more than a tasty piglet for dinner, was out on the prowl. He had a big appetite and a very keen sense of smell. Soon he sniffed his way to the first little pig's house of straw. He knocked on the door and said in a sweet, sugary voice, little pig, let me come in." The first little pig peeked through a crack and saw the wolf's big teeth. "No, no, not by the hair on my chinny-chin-chin," he squealed. "Then I'll huff and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in," roared the wolf. And he huffed and he puffed, and he blew with all his might. The straw house, being so weak, flew apart in an instant. The first little pig squealed in terror and ran as fast as his little legs could carry him to his brother's house of sticks. He banged on the door, shouting, "Let me in, let me in. The big bad wolf is coming." The second pig quickly opened the door, and his brother tumbled inside just as the wolf arrived. The wolf, now even hungrier, knocked on the stick house door. Little pigs, let me come in." The two pigs huddled together, trembling. "No, no, not by the hair on our chinny chin-chins," they cried out. "Then I'll huff, and I'll blow your house in," bellowed the wolf. So he huffed, and he puffed, and he blew even harder than before. The house of sticks shivered and shook, and then it tumbled down into a big pile. The two little pigs screamed and ran for their lives, straight to the third little pig's house of bricks. "Brother, brother, open the door," they yelled, pounding on the strong wooden door. "The big bad wolf blew our houses down and he's right behind us." The third pig, who had heard the commotion, opened the door at once. His two brothers scrambled inside, and he quickly bolted the lock just as the wolf, panting and furious, reached the brick house. The wolf was very angry now. 3 pigs in one house. What a feast, he thought. He knocked on the door, his voice dripping with false sweetness. Little pigs, let me come in." The 3 pigs, feeling much safer behind the strong brick walls, shouted back together, "No, no, not by the hair on our chinny." The wolf growled. He was not used to being defied. "Then I'll huff, and I'll blow your house in," he roared, taking a giant breath. He huffed, and he puffed, and he blew with all his might. But nothing happened. The brick house didn't even tremble. He tried again, huffing and puffing until he was red in the face. But the house stood firm. The wolf was exhausted and furious, but he wasn't going to give up. He was a clever wolf, and he thought of another plan. He circled the house and spotted the chimney. "Aha!" he thought. "I'll climb up the roof and slide down the chimney. I'll catch them by surprise." Inside, the third little pig was clever too. He heard the scrambling sounds on the roof and guessed the wolf's plan. He whispered to his brothers, "Quick, help me with this." He had a big pot of water boiling over the fire in the fireplace. Working together, the 3 pigs took the lid off the pot just as the wolf started to slide down the chimney. Down, down, down came the wolf, thinking about the delicious meal he was about to have. But instead of landing softly on the hearth, he fell right into the pot of boiling water, cut splash with an enormous yelp of pain. The wolf shot back up the chimney like a rocket and ran away into the woods, howling and screaming, never to be seen again. The 3 little pigs cheered. They were safe, all thanks to the hard work and foresight of their wise brother. The first 2 pigs felt very foolish. They apologized to their brother for teasing him. "You were right," they said. "Taking the time to do a job properly is the most important thing." From that day on, the first 2 little pigs learned their lesson. They built their own strong houses out of brick, right next to their brothers. And the three of them lived happily and safely ever after, always remembering that hard work and planning always pay off in the end. And that's the story of the three little pigs. It teaches us a valuable lesson, doesn't it? Taking shortcuts might seem easy at first, but it's the solid hard work that really protects us in the long run. Thank you so much for watching with me today. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more classic tales. We love sharing these stories with you. See you next time. Bye.